I'm excited to be here. Um, Sacramento's always had a great fan base, dating back to when, who's actually an OG of mine is Doug Christie, one of the original Raptors legends. So back when he was playing, and I remember as a kid watching, and even now, playing with them with the new arena, the Golden One Center, which the city very much deserved that new arena because Sleep Train was definitely a tough visiting locker room to go into, not because of the aesthetics. So I'm happy that the team got and the city got a new arena. They deserved it. But in terms of the team, um, you know, being teammates with Luke for a year and a half, it's crazy how time flies. That at one point we were teammates and he was throwing me high low passes and getting me some easy buckets around the rim. Now he's my head coach. It just shows you how quick time flies in this league. And with this team with a lot of great young talent, I want to be able to come in and pay my knowledge that I've learned from the guys before me forward. Having the opportunity to play with a guy like LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin, and then having last year playing with an emerging superstar in JT and JB. Just help these younger guys. They have a lot of potential, and I know they want to be great. And I think what I can bring to the table is that knowledge, but also know what it takes to win. Been in a winning culture, and know what the sacrifice is every day to get to that point. So that's what I just try to bring each and every day here,
Yeah,
and level of toughness.
sorry, you mentioned it with Luke a minute ago. I just does it make you kind of feel a little old? How different is he now as a coach compared to being a teammate?
I told Luke today when I saw him, I said, "Luke, you look better now than you did the last 2 years we played with each other." I said, "Man, you might you might need to put the shoes on, lace them up, and practice a little bit if we fucking around. You might need to play a little bit and show guys how it's done." So I know it's crazy. Entering year 11 at the age of 30. When I got into the NBA, um, you know, at the age 30, you were probably like middle of the pack in terms of like experience mixed with like age. But in the last 2 years, I've had the most experience NBA wise on both of my teams with the Celtics and here with the Kings. But just at 30, so it just shows that the league is getting younger, and kids aren't staying in college. So that's basically what it's showing. So it's great. I feel good, and still a lot of great years left in me, and I want to come in here and do what I've been doing for a long period of time, which has helped impact a team and a franchise, and I want to do the same thing here.
We'll go to Zoom. Jim Conlon.
Hi, Tristan. Tristan, you've been to the promised land, so you're coming into a locker room that's trying to reach there. And an awful lot of young rookies, an awful lot of young players that don't know that. Do you feel since you've come there that they've been knocking at your door, asking for you for advice, asking you for about your experiences so far, and trying to learn from you and take on board what they can gather from your knowledge?
Yeah, no, they definitely ask questions. I think obviously, in the summertime, guys are training and with their family all over the place. I think now that we're all together for a long period of time and we're back in the grind mode, I know that a lot of guys are gonna have questions, and I'm always open book. One thing about me, I'm a straight shooter. I keep it real and just tell them how hard it is. It's tough in this league to be great and to get to the promised land and just put yourself in a position to win. It starts from day one. It starts from today, from media day, the mindset you have coming in, and then, it's tough. It's the season's long. The NBA season's long. It's not like football where you have 16 games in 3 months. For the NBA, it's a 6 month commitment, and it's practice every day, traveling and games. So it's not easy, but that's what makes the great ones great. And for me, being around the greats and seeing what they did, and day in and day out, I want to be able to pass it on. And I think that's what this league should be about. The guys, the knowledge you get from the greats before you, you should pass it on to the younger generation, and that's how you keep this league growing, and that's how you keep the great players and turn these guys into the next great superstars in our league.
And Tristan, finally, for me, you played with probably one of the greatest guards
The
of
greatest.
all time in the
The
NBA,
greatest.
in D Wade. And do you think a young Tyrese Halliburton, a Davion Mitchell, do you think there's the potential there? Do you see a young sort of D Wade in those type of players that has, if they could reach that level maybe in 8-9 years time?
I think we'll go Tyrese first. I think Tyrese has a lot of potential. I see when watching him play, I see a lot of a young Sean Livingston before he got hurt when he was with the Clippers. Sean Livingston was playing very well with the Clippers before he got injured, and that team got to the first round when they had Baron Davis with them. So, I see a lot of that, a guy that's 6'6", 6'7", that can play make, but also can shoot the ball. I think Tyrese's feel for the game is far more advanced than how many years of service he has in our league. So that's a great thing to see. And especially, I'm a big fan of big guards that can play make. So for Tyrese, I'm a big fan of his, and I saw how he was able to, when he came in the game, change the game so much with just getting the ball moving, hopping, and being able to make plays for himself, but for his teammates. And I think that's what separates yourself as a young guy. A lot of young players, when they come in, they think that it's on them to whether it's make the plays or do all the scoring. But the reality is, you got to pick and choose your moments. And if you can get your teammates going early, it opens up the floor for you so much more. And I think Tyrese, he's figured that out. And I think that's what's going to make him a very special player in our league. And that's why, players around our league and teams love him a lot. So it's definitely a compliment that he's doing something right. For Davion, I think, he's been a winner at every level. He's won in high school, college, and he reminds me a lot of Colin Sexton in terms of their hard work. At the end of the day, you can't shortcut the process in terms of your career and what you're trying to achieve. I think the basketball gods are very rewarding to those that put the effort in each and every day. And I think D, he's a byproduct of that. He's the type of player that's going to be in the gym, live in the gym, and he's not going to let you outwork him. And I think that's something that for a franchise that's trying to build a culture and build it the right way, you got to have guys like that are going to put the hard hat on every day and punch in the clock, because that stuff you can't put that in a player. That they embody that the day they're born in their DNA. That's something that you can't teach a player in terms of working hard and putting their best foot forward. That's something you're born with. That's something that's in your genetic makeup, and that's what's in D, and that's why he's able to have the success he's had so far in his career. And I think he'll have a lot of success in our league with how hard he commits himself to the craft. So I'm excited about both of them. I think they have potential to do really great things in our league, and I'm excited I could be a part of the journey.
James Tam.
Yeah, over. You look at Marvin Bagley, and I mean, I'm sure you watch him from afar. He's got all the physical skills and tools, but because he's missed so much time, he needs help specifically on the defensive end. How, as a veteran, can you help him along and put him under your wing and sort of help him develop?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Marvin has he had some unfortunate injuries in his career, and I know for a young player, it's definitely frustrating, especially because you want to be out there and play, and you want to showcase yourself each and every night. And unfortunately, things happen. I think for him, what I could do is just be that person you can lean on. I know you said defensively how you can help. I think defense, it's all about a foundation. I think sometimes teams try to skip steps before their players are ready. And it's whether it's, adding too much stuff to the defensive playbook before the team is ready, or even for individual player, if he might be a little behind. And it's like anything in life, not everyone's going to pick up things as quick as others. So that's when it comes down to, players and coaches to put the extra work in, especially for a guy that you care about and you want to see succeed. You have to do that. And for me, if I see things that I know he might not be grasping or needs help with, I'm always going to be an open door policy where I can help him. But even in practice, if I see something that I know he's not grabbing onto, I'll be there to help him, because that's my job as a veteran leader. And in order to win, everyone's got to be on the same page. So, I mean, I've with Coach Longo coming in and being the defensive guy, I've been with him for in Cleveland for like 5 years. So I know exactly the things we're going to do defensively. So I could be definitely a great teacher for Marvin, but just for the other guy. I don't think it's just Marvin specifically. We got so many new young guys here. I think everyone's going to need help on it. So I would never, point out one guy in particular, just because it's going to be new for everyone. So, so not just Marvin. I think everyone's we all going to need help together to understand this and build that foundation.
What is it about this team specifically that intrigues you and makes you excited to come into work?
They were fun to watch and fun to play against. I mean, they're a type of team, if you don't come ready to play, they'll go on a 17-5 run on you, and scoring was never an issue. They were fun to watch, and they got a lot of possessions, and they made basketball fun. You could tell guys were having fun out there on offense. I think defensively, that was an area where they got to be better at. But that happens, when your team is young and guys are trying to figure themselves out, but also figure out, what coach wants. As young players, it's tough sometimes. So I think with them bringing in some veteran guys that can kind of help lead and kind of lead by an example, but also be out there to kind of help those young guys defensively, catch up. I think it's a great mesh. You know what I'm saying? I think when you build a team, it's a puzzle piece, right? You can't have too many guys that do too many of the same things. It's a puzzle piece. So I think they've done a good job this summer, grabbing some pieces that can mesh to build a proper puzzle. And it's going to be on us to keep coming together, to keep working every day to push each other.
We'll go to Matt George.
Hey, Tristan, this team, especially recently, has been on the cusp of that next step of reaching the playoffs, and it's just eluded them. Based off of your experience, what do you see that is missing on this team that you are hoping to bring, even if it's off the court?
I think the NBA, it's literally a possession game. And I think if you look at, the point difference in terms of wins and losses, it's like a possession and a half, 2 possessions, maybe tops. So that's just 2 more stops. So I think because I've been on both sides, I've been on winning teams, I've been on teams that have been in a situation like this team where, you're around the cusp and you feel like you should have that chance to make the playoffs. And I've been on a straight rebuild situation. So I've been in this position before. I think it was when Mike Brown was the coach in my 3rd year. It was me, Kyrie, Dion, Luol Deng. I think we had Andrew Bynum. We were on the cusp. I think we finished like 10th or 9th in the East. But it's about possession games. I think when it gets to the 4th quarter or even the second half, you got to eliminate those 8-0 runs. You got to cut those down. I think obviously, in the 1st quarter, things happen where teams are on hot starts, but 3rd and 4th quarter, you can't afford to have teams go on those big runs because they'll set you back so much that you have to dig yourself out of a crazy hole to even put yourself in position to win. So I think for this team, it's just limiting those runs that teams may go on. And I think that will help a lot. So it starts defensively. I think that should be the main focus for us going into training camp is how can we force just, 2 or 3 extra stops in the course of a game where, stop the bleeding.
And last questions from Jason Anderson.
Tristan, welcome to Sacramento, man. Really interesting to hear your insights on these things. One hot topic today is vaccinations around the league. You've got a couple cities where guys might not be able to play in home games because they're not vaccinated. I just wonder, what do you have any thoughts on just that whole topic and how it might impact the league this year?
I mean, I think, we live in a world where, everyone, you're in control of whatever destiny you want to make for yourself. So, if you choose to be vaccinated, that's a choice that you make, and then, it's on you. But if you choose not to be vaccinated, with the way things are going in our country, with the NBA saying certain games you can't play in, I mean, it's just the nature of the business, nature of where we're at today in this country. So, I mean, I don't have really much to say about it. My main focus is, hopefully, guys do whatever's best for them, whatever they feel like is best for them and their family, and we live with the results. I'm never gonna force somebody to get vaccinated or look down on somebody for not being vaccinated, because that's not my place. I'm not God, so I have no right to put down another human being because, that's I don't have that right or power to. So whatever decision you want to make for you and your family, I'm all for it. My whole goal is just to play basketball and be available for my team.
Okay. And, hearing you talk about your experiences in the league, being with winning teams, being in rebuilding situations, now you look around the room you're in today, and I just wonder, where do you feel like this Kings team is on that spectrum in terms of, just trying to be competitive, or whether the pieces might be here for a team that could make the playoffs?
No, I think this team could be very competitive. Like I said, scoring is not an issue for this team. So one thing is, if you can score, you can definitely win a fair share of games. But if you want to get to that next step in terms of being in the playoffs, it's about what you can do on the defensive end, because there's very few teams in our there's very few teams in this league that can play zero defense and just score enough points to win. And there's probably 5 of those teams, maybe only 4 that can get away with that each and every night. But I feel like for our team and what we're trying to build, I think defense has got to be a priority. I think if we're able to just come together with a couple more stops, it changed the whole outcome of the game. I think a couple stops take you from being 11th in the West or 10th in the West to being, an 8th seed or have a chance of playing a playing game. So I think that's something that this team has potential to do. I think we have the right personnel that can do it. And I think it's just about growing. I think the key for us is to have a good start. So training camp will be important for us. I think preseason will be important. Of course, it's got to be a balance in terms of like you want to keep guys fresh and everything like that. But I feel like with a younger team, it's always good to have a hot start, because a lot of those veteran ball clubs, I remember when I was on a veteran team, we wouldn't start hitting our stride till maybe around Christmas. So for this team right now, being a younger team, we got to take advantage of those veteran teams kind of having a slower start.
One more from Sean.
Tristan, just real quick, how do you reflect back on last season, the time with Boston, and just why didn't that work? And was it a most frustrating year for you?
I enjoyed my time in Boston. I think my teammates were amazing. I still talk to all of them today. A great group of guys. I think, it's like anything in life. We got to the playoffs, but unfortunately, obviously, with Jay being hurt, we never gave it it was unfortunate. We never really had a full roster. It was either someone got hurt, COVID, or, it was always something that came with our team. And we definitely fell short. And we all know in our heart that if we actually had a full roster, I think we would probably won one of those 2 games against Miami that we had to play that gave us a chance to not be in the playing game. I think it would have gave us a chance to be like 5 or 6. And I'm pretty confident if we were 5 or 6, we'd have probably, especially with what happened with the other teams, we'd have probably been Eastern Conference Finals against either Milwaukee or the Nets. So, but that's how the game works. Availability is the best ability in this league, and of course, we weren't lucky with that. So sometimes change is good. I met some great people there, built some amazing relationships. Coach Stevens is a great basketball mind, and he knows what happy for him that he's going to be in the front office. And I think he put a lot of work into this game where he deserves to be in the front office now and get a change of scenery, because he has a great basketball mind. So I think he's going to do a really good job. And you see what he's doing. He's collecting assets over there in Boston, and that's one thing that in this league, Denver did a good job of doing that back in the day too. Collect a lot of assets so you can help build your team the right way. So Brad knows what he's doing. So he's a smart man. So I had a good time there. But change is good. I'm in
Thank
Northern
you.
Cal.